Ooh, that sugar sweet. You got me bleep. Sipping on the potion. All that good emotion.
Smells very pissy around.
Play it cool, Rodders, play it cool.
Loving this devotion.
Dovey would kill for that airline in 20 years' time. Welcome to the Christmas special of Spooner's Vlog. Now, you might be thinking it doesn't look very Christmassy, and you'd be right to think that. It's the end of August, but I'm back out at Gigantica and I'm on Dovey's mates trip. Well, he says mates trip. I'm more of a work colleague, and the others have never met him before in his life. He just messaged him on Facebook saying, please come fishing with me. So that's why we're all here. But the draw's about to take place. We've just had the walk round, and unlike the last time I was on here for the vlog, I haven't got first choice to swim. So it's in the hat we go, but I normally go in totally negative, knowing I'm going to get a bad result, and I think that's why I get a bad result. I'm getting top 3 this time. Now I'm getting it.
Keep your number to yourself, there, Tom.
Let's just say the confidence did not pay off.
He's not picked him up. I have.
Well, the PMA didn't quite work like I hoped it would. 9th out of 11 people is not where you want to be. But I'm going to be honest, the thing I like about Gigantica is that these carp spend an awful lot of time swimming around, and they will visit every single swim during the course of a week. So I'm not worried about catching. I really believe I'll get my chance. I'm just having a little lead around now. But I had a couple of late choices that I felt were good. I had the stink and I had pole position. I've fished both of them before, but stink has got a habit of throwing up big uns, and it's done fudgies on more than one occasion. So when you're sat in a swim that you know a mid-70 likes feeding in, you can't help but feel confident. So I'm going to find an area out there, not really sure, just looking for a clean bit of ground. I'm going to put quite a bit of bait out tonight. They love the house pellet here, so I'm going to put 5 kilo of pellet out, a kilo of maize, and then a kilo of little 10mm link. And I think what I'll do, once I start catching, I'll gradually start to introduce more and more boilie, so that by the time Big Fish Thursday comes around, there's been a lot of big carp eating out there, and that's when we're going to catch him. Whatever happens, we're in the sun, we're at Gigantica, it's going to be a mint week. Right, it is time. I've got one rod out. I'm fishing one rod short and to the right at 17 wraps. I've put about 20, it's not about, I've put 22 spoms of bait over it. Gone quite boily heavy on that one. And then I'm going for 2 out long at 30 wraps over quite a lot of bait. It's not, this think's a good swim for getting bites, but it's not really known for doing too many big hits. So I've gone in quite big, trying to make a bit of a statement out there. So I think I've put 8 kilos of bait out. 5 or 6 of that is the house pellet, a kilo of maize, a kilo of little 10mm link, and then doused it in some chili oil and a load of fish smart liquid as well. So there's loads and loads of food out there, there's loads of attraction. And over the top, I'm gonna have a couple of grains of yellow because it did so well for me last time. But apparently pink is doing a number of bites, so I'm gonna have 2 grains of pink out there as well. It's only the first night, no one's really rushed. There's been, the bait's gone out for most people. Rods are slowly going out around the lake. Let's see what the first night brings, shall we? people say they don't understand carp anglers, like sitting out in all weathers, catching a fish to put it back. I don't understand people going up in a perfectly good aeroplane and then jumping out when they get really high. I don't get that. Anyway, we want to know more about the fishing than what the local parachuters club are doing. It's actually been a really good first night on this lake. The main lake, notoriously, historically, the first night when all new anglers turn up, you're all baiting up at a similar time, there's leads flying here, there and everywhere. The fish tend to push out into the middle and sit there for sort of 24 hours. It can be really slow the first night. But there's 11 anglers fishing and 5 of us got off the mark last night. Yeah. Well, I really wasn't expecting to get off the mark quite that quickly. The short rod though has done the goods. 32.5 pound, immaculate common. Not the immaculate common, just an immaculate common. You know what I mean. Was over in the stock pond, had I think it was a mid-20. Jake, what a night he had. He's had 2 good uns out of 51 and a 49. 2 seasons soft focus, 2 of the proper old originals. Aris is off the mark in the beach as well. And obviously Dovey on Coast Point, only 1 bite but the biggest out so far, a 53 pound common.
53 pound 12 ounce common. Very similar to Neil's, but just nearly twice as big. And twice as gorgeous. It's a ridiculous looking carp, that is. Pristine. And a perfect little mouth. In Co's first bite. I think we're going to catch some more.
The Furious common, I think it's known as. So that gives us an amazing platform to build on. I'd like to think they'll get on my longer spots at some point, but I've just got a feeling this short range spot is going to do me a big, and I saw something roll over it yesterday. It sort of rolled away from me and the width across its shoulders was obscene. So hopefully he found the bait last night. He's already had a little snuffle and he'll be back to keep testing it and hopefully make that ultimate mistake of picking up my hook bait. But I think I'm going to sit here for a bit. I'm going to redo the rods, just check them, get them freshly back out again. I'm going to top the bait up a little bit, but not too much. I did go quite heavy yesterday, but like I did last year, I just want to keep some of that pellet going in. Even if it gets the stockies in and starts them feeding, that is what I need just to kick-start that spot. So, little 5-minute chill out and we'll go again. The rest of the morning passed without any action, and with it being a social, the boys wound in the rods and came round to my swim for a proper catch-up. It's safe to say that me and Scott Dove really enjoyed ourselves.
Well done, do you know what's caught me, Spoons? I thought it was a southwesterly, it turned to an eastie. Have a look. I'll tell you what, nice bit of fucking cheese.
Gin and weird lemon.
I'm drinking slow, ain't I? You make me like a child. Hi, Dan. Hi, Dan.
I like a bit of reading.
Audio book.
I've brought a book with me. Flick of the Towel.
Have you read any?
Not yet, mate. I've been setting up. Jesus, give me time. Your writing's half small, isn't it?
A pair of these.
You ain't seen me in them, have you?
Oh,
You
go
are-
and get them.
I can't.
Get them.
Good sight.
It's yours.
Anyone look like George Clooney? I don't know how people ain't found this yet. And I ain't lie to you. Who said I brought a big cup? Perfect. Hey.
Oh, well,
It's a fucking, there you go. I'm going to catch after midweek. Fucking everything, scarf, mittens. I've got the new mittens out and all. Oh, yeah, yes. Oh. I've changed. We're training to my croc. These are nice. Do you know what, Tom? I look at them, I think, do you know what? They all feel compact.
They are, aren't they?
This is gonna go mental! Wow, don't edit that, Lou. Don't edit that. stop with your saucy little blade thing. You off to now? She's electric. She's got a family full of eccentrics. I like Madonna. She's electric. Lots and lots for us to see. Lots and lots for us to do. She's electric. Can I be electric? Next two. I thought he's now. Now he's two, innit? I found a song out there, son. Wait, where's my song, Dave? Yeah, it is. You must. Way too early. You are my guiding star, my guiding light, my love fantasy. I hustle for another dollar. Don't wanna stop. Oh my love. I probably don't know the words. The river of the night. Cheers, gal. I hope you understand. Do that all
She's
that
electric.
whack.
It's a groover as well, isn't it?
What?
Fucking
He's
mint
like a
song.
little
I mean.
wing. Got it.
While Spoon is drunk, singing with my Uncle Scott round there.
Oh my love, sing me spoon.
I'm taking this seriously, sort of. What are you laughing at, mate? Nothing, mate. It's so hard to tell here, I think. Yes.
After Dovey's fish, it was time to head to the lodge for dinner. I was full of confidence getting my rods back out. Along with the fresh rigs, I sent out a few top-up spods as well, and after catching one during the first night, I was sure I'd be woken during the hours of darkness.
I had a bit of a weird occurrence early this morning. Load of bleeps on the middle rod. Line was slack, so I think I've had a drop back and just didn't connect with any fish. Never nice doing that on here because you don't know what's picked up your hook bait. Hey ho, that's the way it goes. You can't land them all. Had a good old day yesterday. Proper social round here. Dovey's uncle is an absolute menace, but it was a good day. Nothing to report, I don't think, along this whole bank from a fishing point of view. I think we've all had a good night's sleep. But Jake Wildboar on the other side in pole position has got a lovely couple of carp in the net once again. So I'm going to make myself a little cup of coffee, wake myself up properly, and you can go and have a look at that, mate. Some epic carp for Jake, and his action didn't stop there.
Whilst I redid the rods and was topping up the spot, he managed another one, another epic mirror. It's coming towards the end of another day, just coming up to the lodge, have a bit of dinner, nice bit of chicken and chips, but had to come and see the boys. Got Jake Wildboar over my shoulder. Now he's fishing like an absolute god. I think he's had 6 fish now. All of them have been amazing. He's having a right old trip. Then over this side, I've got Scott Dove, Dovey's uncle, the man who actually started Dovey's fishing, so it's him that we've got to thank for it. But this is his second trip to Gigantica, and the first trip was a blank. But today, he's got off the mark. A lovely 28.5 pound stocky. And like I've mentioned before, when you get a bite in this place, everything turns to jelly. You're shaking, your legs going. He was exactly the same. There's something about it. You don't know if you're going to be playing one of the recent introduced stockies or a 70 pound original. There's no way of knowing, and it shows. I've fished here now for, I don't know, about 8 times I think, and every time you get a bleep, every time you get a bite, that's what it does to you. Can't wait for my next one. Now this is what we like to see. Scott he's come up to have a nice shower, get himself clean, left his kit with us. Silly. Put that in there, Jake. It's only deodorant. Pure fish oil. Twirl that around. Oh, where's his wash bag? I won't say a word. Moisturise.
That ain't cheap.
Someone's doing what? Just cut a hole. It looks about right.
Quite a big on nipples. He's got some burgers.
He's got some burgers. He's been feeding. Cut that one out. Out there. Oh no. Fold this back up. He won't know. His missus folded it for him, let's face it. Oh, did he have this? He's got all sorts going on here.
That's my bite's been now for the week for Karma.
Not a clue. Yeah, you just want to point out you poured it and did the cutting. I just held it.
You can probably put something else out of it.
Five minutes later.
You look good, mate.
The ocean stays in without.
Fucking idiots. Lawyers.
Should have fucking krill. Krill with fucking vented t-shirt on.
It's always important when you come out to any lake over here, or even back home, when it's hot, fizzy drinks, you might get wasps, and if you take a sip of it, the wasp could sting you on the lip. Can't it, Tom?
It's a good bit of advice.
You've got to be careful, because
It
sometimes
is a good, solid bit of advice.
and I know what
I'll
you're
take
thinking, but no, it's not being his forehead. That's that size. There is no swelling there.
Do you like that one, Scott? Yeah.
Yeah, it's bloody
Is that sore?
No, it's not. Can you notice it?
It's, do you know what?
Can you notice it?
Only
Lou?
when you talk, if you just do that. No, it's there. It's really in.
Check your cans. It's a dangerous
Check
little
your
world
cans.
out there.
Well, not only is it nice to get another bite, but it's come off the long range spot. So they've found the bait. Hopefully we can really get a spot rocking. No matter how big this fish turns out to be, he has put a right old battle up, which is what we like. Well, I say you like it when you land it. When you're not getting many bites, you kind of just want it to come in like a wet lettuce and just land it and job done. Get some photos, thanks very much. This fish has got other ideas. a battle royale. That is 37.10. That will do nicely. That is a beautiful common, 37.10. Little hook bait tweak. I took the plastic off one of the rods and fished a link bottom bait just with a little topper, and that is the result. So perhaps they're eating a lot more boilie than they are the maize. There'll be 2 of them going out later. He's a cracker. Other than the antics of carp anglers, it has been a very quiet day, and in fact every day's been very quiet. I noticed out in the middle today about 50 carp on the surface, so always willing to try something a bit different. I'm keeping 2 out where I had the bite from this morning. I'd like to think that the fish are now visiting that spot. 2 identical hook baits, little link bottom baits with pink squid tippers on. But because I've seen so many fish on the surface and because they keep showing short in front of me all over this swim, I've just put an adjustable zig out on the left-hander. So I've now got the bait just touching the surface, and I think I'm going to go about 4 foot under. See if that can nick us a bonus bite. Let's see what tonight brings. Hopefully cooler temperatures. I'm roasting here. Come on, Mungie, let's have a little zig bite, shall we? Oh. Well, it had been a pretty unproductive night. There's not been a single bite all night on the lake. And then Harris pulls it out of the bag. How big is it?
41.4.
It's not a bad fish, that, is
No,
it?
isn't it? Oh,
It is as long as you.
very welcome, shush, mate.
That is proper.
Cool, isn't it?
Share some pictures.
Yeah, mate.
Well, I'm just getting ready to get the rods back out. And I've definitely just heard Dubby's bite alarm. You're the Dubby.
Come out very late in the draw. Got a terrible corner swing. 52 pounder. It's actually been a bit of a slow week, to be honest, but changed to maize last night on the right hand rod. A couple of bits of plastic, job's a good one. Wonder how Spoonsy's getting on. Good in, boy.
It's proper hot out here today. I'm not gonna lie, I'm just hiding from the sun, sweating. Tried sitting outside, wherever I go, it's hot. I do not envy them boys over there getting their bait out. Still, you never know. Ringing that dinner bell might get them a bite.
Alright. Not now, Lou, not now, son. Play it cool, Rodders, play it cool.
They're all having it over there.
Have a stock, eh? God, you know what? These bloody originals.
I just do want to confirm that this is yet another French PB.
Thank you. Chipping away, Spooner.
Bucket
Terrific.
has plenty of water.
Fine specimen.
And the fish.
Hey, get up there, boy! How big's that fucking bucket? That's beautiful, that is. Do you know what I like? He's squid goo and all. I'm smelling very gooey.
Oh, when you're ready.
Yours at the bottom, is it?
For Christ's sake.
Is anyone putting this fucking towel out?
Just hurry up, man.
Wow.
We're down the alley pally here.
Someone had a fish for 24.
How big is that freezer?
It's like Narnia, kid.
I ain't waiting any fucking longer.
Oh, I got hot all of a sudden.
As I said, it is always a good evening on barbecue night. We've had another PB for Scott, which resulted in yet another soaking. 2 for 2. A lovely barbecue. Meeting up with the lads here and the lads from over on the road lake. The dartboard got put back up and I remained undefeated. 6 and 6 for 6. That'll do nicely. I'm waiting to be challenged by somebody. We'll see. See if anyone's got it in them. I don't really know how Dovey talks a good game, but soon disappeared when we started playing, I noticed.
Thank you, Gigantica.
His uncle wouldn't even entertain it. Says it all. Yes, he's hot though. I am hot now. At least I've only got to put a few more out on the short spot and then a load out on the long spot. Great. Yes, fucking bite that. Hello. Hello. Well, this is what it's all about. It's very dark. We are sitting here having a little bit of a social, as everyone does when on a trip to France with their mates. By mates, I'm including Scott Dove in that because he's here and all. And you have a little bite. What a lovely turn of events.
It's like being on Monster Carp, isn't it, Spoons, in about 20 years' time.
He's just like a monster. That's what Dovey would kill for that airline in 20 years' time.
Don't stop you, Brad.
Go on, Scott, get it in.
Get in there! Get in there!
That is a cracking bit of netting.
That ain't, I'll tell you what, that ain't no stocky. Not in my bloody swim, it ain't. Bigger than stockies, mate. Stocky! Shut up, that nerve's in fact. Get your eyes on that, boy. Jesus Christ.
Smells very pissy around.
I have done it here somewhere. Yeah, I have. We're in that.
It smells
We're in
very,
that.
it smells
Yeah.
very wheaty. It smells as if we're behind a fucking wheat farm.
Do you know what? I'm going to talk. Sometimes you catch a fish and the memories of it will stay with you longer than any other. And when you lift the carp up and someone says, "Does it smell pissy round here?" that is often the reason why. But look at that. We've got a 43.5 pounder with a couple of my mates in the swim with me, and Scott was here too. So it's been great.
Thank you, Gigantica.
What? Do you know what? Lovely times. Jake will hate that when he hears that back.
Yeah.
Well, after that early, I won't say evening bite, but early into the night bite last night, I really fancied my chance of another one. There was still fish showing, getting the odd little bleep, but just like this lake does so many times, it kicks you and nothing else. There has been a bit more action though. Jake had an another absolutely mega scaly this morning. I think it's called the grey plated at just over 46 pounds. And then a very similar pattern to yesterday morning. Aris had a bite over in the beach. And then not too long after that, Dovey caught one off of his short spot as well. But there's a lovely thing happening down in the far corner. Fred, who was over in Backs, has not had anything for 4 nights. Moved over into Scotty's. He unfortunately lost one early hours of this morning. But I've just seen someone getting with the net down there now. So I think he's hopefully about to land his first Gigantica carp. And that's another one with a big tick next to the catch report.
Absolute beast. I think you'll all agree that that is the most ridiculous carp. It's called the Patch Fully, £53, 4 ounces. And this is Fred's first French carp. That'll do. What are you holding it like that for? Because it's quite heavy. Go on, lift it up one more time.
Give him a little kiss.
Well done,
Can't
Fred.
get it near.
That is a
Yes.
crack. That is ridiculous, isn't it?
We happy?
Scotty's corner after a little move, Fred, yeah? Yeah, go on, let him go.
Go on then, you.
I'm in the way for these buckets.
We've got time, we can wait. You don't move, Fred.
Come on then. Yes!
Get a quick. I've just had this ass.
Well done, Tom. So quick after the last catch up.
Well done, Freddie boy.
Thank you very much, lads. Buzzing.
Sugar sweet, you got what I need. Sipping on the potion, all that good emotion. Just my kind of heat, keep it on repeat. Tested by the motion, loving this devotion. Live it up, sweet emotion. Every time, every night, you and I on a roll. Switch it up where I'm going. Stay on the fly just in time, know the right way to go. I
well, you come to Friday and it's always a bit, I suppose, bittersweet. I'm looking forward to getting home to seeing the family, but at the same time I love it out here, knowing I'm going home tomorrow. Haven't had the best of trips, don't mind admitting that. The lake is never a walk in the park, and just because you have a good trip one year doesn't mean you're going to get the same the year after. But, and I'm going to keep saying but, this lake has got such a tradition, such a history of chucking up some of the big ones on the last night and early on the last morning, that whilst those rods are still in the water, it could still turn out to be the trip of a lifetime for every single one of us sat round here. There's enough big ones in here that make it very, very possible. And there is always one extra thing to look forward to on a Friday. If you've been lucky enough to catch a PB throughout the week, the bailiffs make everyone that's done so stand in front of the Gigantica sign to enjoy a mutual soak-in by everyone around them. There's certainly a couple on this lake that have done it. I should imagine there's more than one from the Bristol lads over on the Road Lake too. In fact, just today, one of the lads had one of the A-team out, a fish called Hanson at 61 pounds. So he is going to be in line, and I know how much they soaked him earlier, so God knows what they're going to do to him now. So, my watch is dead, but I know it's time to reel in. Last bit of food up there with the bailiffs and the lads before you get them out for one last time. In true Gigantica tradition, if you've caught a BB, you know what time it is!
Yeah, there's krill. Squid goose.
I can smell you from your sticks. That's all she wrote. It might not have been quite as eventful as last year's vlogs out of the Big G, but some mega carp we've caught. Some mega carp were caught, everyone's angled well, and sometimes they just don't behave how you want them to. But that's fishing. Have a lovely Christmas and a Happy New Year.
What an afternoon! Where's myself, Dave? How are we? What? No. Why are you going back in, please? Crashing it on. This is a vlog. I'll fill that up. No.